Hello there, and welcome to week one of the Null Women's League of Legends. My name is Joe, and alongside me, I have Melody,
Hi, that's me. I'm Melody, but I also go by Shooped, and I will be your analyst for this evening.
and I will be casting your play by play. First game we have today is the Derby's Pajama Guardians versus the University of Essex's Athene's Unholy Grills. Really looking forward to this game, but of course, none of this would be possible without a few of our sponsors. So it is brought to you by Logitech G, the world's best selling gaming gear.
That's true.
Unite students, where you can book accommodation across 25 different cities. You can book your room ahead for 2021 2022 today, and also with Twitch Student as well. And you can find out more information about that at the Null University Discord. Really looking forward to seeing this one. First week, what are you expecting out of these guys?
Well, I'm definitely expecting something wonderful, because I casted the last season for this, and Athene's and Holy Grails and Derby's Pajama Guardians, they're
Okay.
both teams that we saw in the last tournament. So back then, we saw a pretty decent showing from both of them, and I think that this could actually be quite good. It is kind of a rematch because the way the tournament works is it's a Swiss format, which means that every team will play against every other team. So these guys have actually gone against each other before. So that's going to be really interesting to see how they change in this way. We saw a lot of stuff in the past. We saw some controlling mid laners, such as like Lux and possibly also I think we saw an Ari coming out from Darby's Pajama Guardians back then. Not sure if that'll change right now, but basically what I'm expecting for this whole thing is I'm going to expect some good League of Legends and some really entertaining matches.
Yeah, it should be some really good combinations, and we've got a really good game ahead of us for this first one. Should be expecting to head into the draft anytime soon. But before that, is there anything really that you can? Because obviously, I wasn't here for the last split. So,
Mhm,
is
mhm.
there any players that I should be on the lookout for?
Well, if memory serves me correctly, and very often it does, Dr. Fabulous is actually quite good at this game. They were pulling out some really good plays in the last match.
Okay.
And also, I do want to bring up another player on Derby's Pajama Guardians, and that is that is Catgirl Trez. Now,
Okay.
this person is Diamond 4. They know what they're doing, right? They are aware of the game. They know League of Legends, and that's an important thing to note. But they are a jungler primarily, and
Okay.
as we all know, jungle is really strong right now. With Kemtank being so low, with all these incredibly powerful junglers such as Udyr, such as Ivan, even Hecarim. Hecarim's been in a very strong, good spot for a long time and is still up there. These aggressive junglers that just kind of walk around and there's not much you can do about them. Catgirl Trez, I think, will do fantastic things on that. So one may look at the average ranks of these teams and thinks, oh well, uh, Derby's Pajama Guardians has a diamond on him, GG. But we've seen a good show. We've seen a good show from Athenes and Holy Grails before, so I don't think it'll be that simple. I think that this could be closer than meets the eye, and that's the kind of game that I really enjoy watching.
Yeah, and something that came up in the bit of research that I did beforehand, you mentioned about Catgirl Trez for Derby's Pajama Guardians. Also comboing in with that top lane, some of the picks that they have between them, it could really be a good combination looking at those top jungle combinations. Maybe if we get to see something, I've seen that Lioness for Derby's Pajama Guardians really liking this Darius pick lately, and maybe that could combo well. But we are going to head over into the draft now, and really looking forward to kicking this one off. And that is the Udyr band out
Yeah.
straight away, which you mentioned before.
Yeah, just as we were talking about these aggressive junglers such as Udyr. Now, if you'd have told me a few months ago that Udyr would be in the state that he is at the moment, I would not have believed you. I'd have said, "Oh, did they rework him or something like that?" It's absolutely ridiculous how strong he is right now. So it makes complete sense for him to be a first ban. And these bans are just coming out left and right, thick and fast. We've got Kha'Zix, we've got Kha'Zix, Lilia, Senna, and Lulu Band. It seems like Fiends and Holy Grails are really looking to shut down the jungle on Catgirl Trez. They recognize that she's a threat, and they're just trying to quickly ban out a bunch of really strong junglers that they don't want to deal with. Whereas there are a lot more rounded bans from Derby's Pajama Guardians. You know,
Yeah, and
you've got
really,
Lulu that's focused on the bot lane, but then you've also got Mundo, who is very top dominant in the top lane as well.
yeah, and I've also seen the Mundo being played in the jungle as well, so some quite nice rounded bands there. And that
Hmm.
Lux that you mentioned before is going to be the first pick coming out for Doctor
Yeah,
Fabulous.
yeah. Fabulous likes a Lux. That's one thing we noticed before. Pretty decent at hitting the skill shots too. So this could be quite an instrumental pick. Though one could say that picking the mid in the first pick is a little bit of a questionable decision because it opens you up to counters. So we'll see what Derby Pyramid Guardians are going to do
Yeah,
in
but
this
also
situation.
remember this Lux could be still flexed down into the support role as well. There is the possibility of that being moved there. And this is something we mentioned as well. This top jungle combination is going to be Malphite and Graves being the first two picked up for Derby. Graves is something that in the little bit of research I managed to get before this, Catgirl was really
Mhm.
comfortable on this Graves. So
Mm.
despite the three jungle bans coming out, still managing to find one of those comfort picks.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing. This is how you know that a player is skilled. Is that they don't have one or two comfort picks. They have basically a comfort role. You know, like you can give a good player any character in the jungle, and they will be completely fine on it. And Graves again fits that kind of fits that kind of gameplay narrative, if you will, of aggressive junglers that get things done, right? They take objectives, they take control of the map, and they push into lanes and they secure objectives, be that kills, be that the scuttle crab, be that just dominance. Dominance is an objective you can have over your opponents.
Very much so, and it's going to be Zaya Rakan picked up for the side of Athene's Unholy Grills, and it's a really nice
Mm,
combination. Zaya very strong at the minute, um, basically having free complete escape with her ultimate going untargetable, and then that damage that she can get back out with that recall.
oh yeah.
And then Tristana Elizabeth is one of their favored picks,
Mhm.
uh, often played quite a lot. So it should be interesting to see this bot lane matchup. And something we did mention while we're discussing before,
Yeah.
Seraphine is going to be banned out alongside the set.
Yeah. Well, Set has just always been fantastic. No, Amumu, that's my main. You can't do this to me. I'm supposed to be professional and impartial, but you can't make the sad mummy even sadder, can you? That ban? No,
Apparently so.
it's very
That's
strong. Amumu's good into Graves, I think. Well, Amumu is decent into Graves. Tank junglers, as we all know at the moment, are probably just some of the best, right? You've either got hyper aggressive junglers, such as the ones that Kekel Trez specializes in, or you've got super beefy, tanky ones that have a lot of CC, which Amumu fills the gap of.
Yeah, and Mumu going to be banned out, but Oriana is going to be the next pick in for
Mhm.
Bay Island. Really strong control mage at the minute. I don't think
Yeah.
Oriana, with the way that they can just sit so far back and control their lane without even having the risk of stepping up, I feel like she's always going to be a strong pickup.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting you would talk about that because the way that she can sit so far back, Lux likes to do the same thing, but the difference is Oriana is perfectly happy to sit there and farm away because her mana costs are so low with the ball, right? I think command attack is like
Yep.
50 mana at rank 1 or something. It's really, really low. Whereas Lux likes to do the same thing, but her mana costs are actually quite big. So what she likes to do is she likes to get these you like to pick her against these mid laners that don't have as much range, that have to get in a little closer, so that you can just slowly whittle them down and control your space. And I think Oriana is a fantastic pick into the Lux because you kind of do her job but better. You don't have the global snipe. You don't have the immediate slow. Yes, but your lane dominance is just so much more. And I just want to mention the OG memers in the chat will notice that this is Malphite Oriana. This is the
Yeah.
Wombo combo.
Something that is intriguing me on the other side, though, going to be Ash and Mordekaiser picked up. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there isn't a traditional jungler on this side unless there is a proxy pick.
It's possible. Do we know if there's any proxy picks? Are we able
We
to?
shall find out from our producer very soon, and that's going to be a reset. So there
Okay, so there will
will
be a
be a
proxy.
proxy pick. We are going to hear from our
Hmm.
producer. So did worry me for a minute then
I
that we
was
were going
about to
to
say. I
see.
was thinking to myself, is this Mordekaiser jungle? Is this Ash
I
top?
I was looking forward to seeing the Rakan jungle personally.
Honestly, oh my god! Can you imagine if they gave Rakan clear or sustain in the jungle?
The
Those
gank
ganks,
potential would be
those ganks
incredible.
would be insane. Imagine if he ganks Zaya's lane, right?
Yeah, it gets the
That's
extra
like,
distance with the battle
yeah,
dance, come flying in
exactly,
and an immediate knock up would have been great to see, but
precisely.
unfortunately
It would be like Zack on steroids.
but unfortunately it isn't the Rakan jungle. So we'll
No,
have to
no,
wait and see what that was. Um but looking at those picks coming in from Derby, because we can't really talk about Athene's Unholy Grills until we find
mm,
out which one of those picks was the proxy.
yeah, yeah,
Um looking at that team comp, very, very well rounded. So we're going to see the Thresh and um, the Tristana in the bot
mm,
lane. So really, really strong engaged.
yeah.
Tristana being able to jump in, and then that Thresh Lantern giving her just the free escape as well.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for sure. She either gets an escape with the by killing you and resetting her jump, or she gets an escape with the thresh lantern. And if she uses the thresh lantern anyway, then suddenly she has a re-engage if she decides if your jungle comes down or something. It's There's a lot of mobility on that lane, and mobility in AD carries is just such an important stat. It's why Ezreal will always be good, right? Because he's got a free flash.
yeah, exactly. It's why the Ezreal will always be strong. It's why something like Gale Force coming in as such a strong
Yes.
item, giving a free dash with execute damage as well on a dash. And who could have expected it be so strong? Giving
Yeah,
AD carries
who
movement.
would have thought, right? Like, literally, no one saw this coming. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's like, and here everyone was thinking Immortal Shield Bow was going to change the game. No,
But
but
then also
yeah, really,
looking at
it's.
those other lanes, you've mentioned about that Malphite and Orianna
Mhm,
combination
mhm.
with the Orianna ultimate as well as the Malphite. Um,
Yes.
so being able to lock someone up with that much CC and then combining that with the damage of the Tristana, is that amount of CC really going to be the biggest problem here, or do you feel like Athene's Unholy Grills will be able to play around it and maybe just hold the distance, looking at the picks that they had picked up so far,
Well,
kind of guessing that that Ash maybe was going to be the proxy pick?
it's an interesting question, and I do think it really comes down to what the individual performance of the different roles on Athene's Unholy Grails turns out to be, really, because in essence, if we look at the draft and we assume that every player is equal skill and all this, these calculations that we have
Yep.
to do, I think that the potential is there. However, I also think that if the early game strength, if the lanes are won on Athene's and Holy Grail side, then maybe this combo of CC doesn't actually get to go off. Malphite runs in, he manages to stun two heroes, sorry, excuse me, two champions. I forgot what game we were playing. He manages to stun two champions. And then the Orianna ult also comes in, and you've got two champions who are stunned on about half health. If the other three champions you don't hit are still threats, then all of a sudden you've got a Malphite that's way in and his team is a good 1,200 units behind him. And if that Malphite hasn't done all too well, then suddenly you've sacrificed him and he's literally just become an ult machine. And there's all these kind of, there's all these kind of situations and circumstances that kind of make it so the combo is good. But is it really that good? And is it game winning? But that being said, on the other side, flipping it to Derby's Pajama Guardians, not gonna lie, if you get like five people with that Malphite ult and the Orianna, and you can follow up with the Graves ult as well,
Should be five people immediately removed.
it's a
Looking at that
big,
composition,
yeah, it's a big wombo combo. It's some serious stuff. So, um, it'll be interesting to see where this actually goes and what actually happens. It will have to take a look at the lanes and also the jungle. Now, we haven't seen the jungler on Athene's side, but it needs to be able to compete with the Graves.
yeah, we're looking at those scaling junglers, and from the pro side of things, as we see these quick bans coming in, obviously for the proxy picks, they don't
Mm.
really matter which bans come in. Um, you're if you think back to Worlds, back to a happier time when we got to see a lot of high level League of
Oh,
Legends. We
take me
saw
back.
we saw a lot of the Nidalee and the Lilia, but obviously the Lilia was banned out. But there we are. We're going to finally see it. It's going to be Sejuani being
Sejuani,
picked.
okay. Well, see, this is a little bit concerning to me because Sejuani is an amazing tank. She's got a ton of CC. She's incredibly strong. Her clear is relatively quick and also relatively healthy, and she's got good objective control, even super early on. But Graves is the classic tank buster. You know,
Yeah, he
he's a
really.
carry assassin and he's a tank buster. He is the one jungler that you don't want to go against when you pick a tank.
Yeah, and something I'd be really interested to see is whether this Graves is going to elect for the Gale Force or the Shield Bow, which we've seen quite often. But also, he has the
Mm,
option to go Lethality. There is the option of him picking up the Eclipse as well and being able to burst down these targets with extra Lethality.
mm,
And I'd be really interested to see which of these paths Catgirl Trez is going to take and whether
mm.
that even comes down to how fed they're able to get early.
Yeah, I think lethality is more in line with her aggressive playstyle that we can tell from these different junglers that she plays. However, I think that the lethality build is I feel like it's a bit big for the boots. Like it seems really good because you'll absolutely shred the Lux. You'll destroy the Zyre in the early game. Rakan can't really do much on his own. And Mordekaiser won't necessarily build armor. But Sejuani just has a lot of tank stats, and I'm just wondering if that's actually what you want to do, or if you want to just build flat AD and then spec into armor pen later on.
It'd
It'll
be
be
interesting.
interesting to see. Yeah, took the words out of your mouth.
Could be interesting to see, and I think it really comes down to how effective that Graves can be early. If Graves comes in, gets a couple of picks early, maybe comes down into this bot lane and can get a double kill on this Zyra Arcanas. I'm expecting to play quite aggressive here. We'll have to see whether if that Graves can pick up something early, then maybe we'll see which build path they elect to take.
Mm,
Um, so we do just have a couple of minutes until we are going to head into this. Obviously, we have to wait for the lovely spectator delay.
yeah,
Um,
lovely. Gotta make sure that there's no stream snipers out there.
but while we do wait for this, something that we haven't really looked at, we've spoken about the combinations between them, but this top lane matchup is something I really would like to look at.
Mhm,
Mordekaiser into Malphite. Normally quite a traditional matchup. Is not something that you'd see too out of the ordinary in your solo queue games.
mm.
What is it about these two champions, and or why do you think these champions have been picked, especially with these new items coming in? And Mordekaiser can actually be quite a strong AP carry looking at these teams.
Yeah, no, I think that is actually, I think that is actually quite a good analysis of just like Mordekaiser can be quite a strong AP carry with the new items that have come in. The Leandri's replacement, I can't quite remember what it was called. The name is escaping me.
Leandri's Anguish.
That's it. Leandri's Anguish. Yes, they've upgraded from Torment up to Anguish. Torment is level one stuff. No, this is pure unadulterated Anguish here. Um, Quite good on him. There are a bunch of other AP items that you can build, and honestly, his burst potential is huge. And Malphite, really strong laner, has that 10% shield of his max health is just really strong and makes trades really good for him. But Malphite is a champion that wants to build armor. He wants to trade with you physically, and he wants to get up in your face and he wants to slap you with that empowered W, right? Maybe hit an E on the way out. Classic stuff. And that is exactly where Mordekaiser wants you to be. Mordekaiser wants you to be in his face so he can proc his passive, so he can hit you with that massive club, that mace that he carries around. And it's just kind of one of those things where I think Malphite might just be stuck between a rock and a hard place in this lane.
Yeah, really could be. And it'd be interesting to see whether the Mordekaiser does elect to build quite strong AP. Obviously, they do have the Lux, so probably don't really need that AP carry as much. Or whether we see the Mordekaiser going for more of that tanky build and really trying to punish this Graves for. Because obviously, this Graves wants to be quite strong, wants to look to gank quite a lot and feed off that sort of lane. We'll
Mm-hmm.
have to see how they stack up.
Definitely. And speaking of stacking, actually, you've raised a very good point. I wouldn't be surprised if this Mordekaiser built the kind of HP slash AP build that we've got going on, that some items do allow you to actually spec into, um, and then go for a Thornmail. You know, Graves likes to auto attack you. Malphite also hits you quite hard. Thresh has this empowered auto attack. Oriana also, her auto attacks do bonus magical damage. But Tristana hits you so often, and I'm just thinking, if he can death realm Tristana and he's got a Thornmail on, I don't realistically think that Tristana can actually, until she gets into the late game hyper carry crazy thing that Tristana can get into. It's it's a little bit. I'm just wondering if she can actually do anything there, or if she's just going to get absolutely whomped by the Mordekaiser Club.
Yeah, and as we are loading into this, we can start to take a look and have a little bit of a chat about the rune selections from
Mm-hmm.
these two teams. And something that's really quite interesting to me is Graves electing for the fleet for the phase rush as opposed to
Yes.
something like a
Yeah.
conqueror or a fleet footwork. What
Yeah.
advantage does that give Graves over those other keystones that you could have picked from?
Well, when we're talking about Conqueror, everyone who's played League of Legends in the past year knows about Conqueror. It's a fantastic ability, or sorry, a fantastic rune that means that whenever you are engaging with people, you're attacking them, champions this is, you gain bonus adaptive force, and also at max stacks, you heal for a percentage of the damage you deal. So it's a really good long engage duelist style rune, which is good on Graves. But Fleet Footwork instead gives you an energy charger right off the bat without having to build something like a Kachis shard, and also gives you health and sustain in the jungle, and it gives you movement speed, which allows you to chase things down. So that is what you want on a jungler. However, and this is the important thing, we've got Phase Rush. Hitting 3 attacks or abilities on Graves is super easy to do, because all you need to do is auto attack, use your Q, and then pop W. Or even auto attack again. He's got that quick buckshot, 2 auto attacks in the space of, I don't know the exact timing, but it is very fast, right? So all of a sudden you're proccing Phase Rush, and you can follow people. You have this huge burst.
Well, it looks like she may have actually dropped there. I'm not able to hear them, so I'll try and pick up where they were going from there. This phase rush does allow the jungler to catch up the Graves very very strong if they are able to chase them down.
Hmm.
Um, and oh, it sounds like you're back.
Yes, hello?
There we go. We lost you for a minute.
Did I disappear? I'm sorry, I was talking all that time. The game froze, but I wasn't sure if that was me or something else. That's so strange.
It does look like we have you back though, and obviously it does look like we are gonna see the
That is
it's
so
unholy
strange.
girls. They're all stacking down on this bot side towards this red buff. Maybe they were looking for an invade. Maybe they were looking for some sort of counter, but it is going to be Mordekaiser heading back to the top, and they are going to look to just take their normal start here. So, looking at these two teams, you can see if you're looking down at the Derby side, you look down towards this Tribush in the bot side. This Thresh and Tristana are waiting there. They could be perhaps looking to cheese this out, maybe. And we are going to see the Xayah heading down to make sure that they're not going to walk through that Tribush blind, and Thresh won't be able to hook them
Well,
early on.
it's the classic gambit, right? You always set up for the tri-brush, but you never expect it to work, right? Because it's just safe to do so. You don't really have too much else to do on the bottom lane except protect blue. But looking at their comp, they don't really have something that's gonna straight up invade. So you set up, you put the ward in the tri-brush. If you can get an early first blood, fantastic. That puts you so far ahead in the lane. If not, you've not really lost anything.
Yeah, gonna see obviously not a lot of trades going on early. People just want to get these early minions and give themselves perhaps a bit of pushing power. That Tristana naturally gonna have it with her passive on her E, but this Thresh playing very aggressive. Hook is going to go right between the Xayah and the Rakan, and the knockup is going to come up onto this Thresh falling ever so low, but it is going to be the heal pop. Xayah is falling lower and lower, and the Tristana's going to jump in. It's going to be a first blood for the Thresh, picking that one up with the Ignite, as we are going to see a fight going over in the top lane. The Mordekaiser proccing is passive, but it's not looking like he's going to extend that skirmish any further.
Yeah, my goodness, that was just a fantastic showing on bot lane there. That was really, really good. Just, sorry, the follow up from the Tristana on the Thresh's play was just amazing. It was really, really good, really well coordinated, and that's the kind of thing that's going to get you a first blood. Especially, the Thresh knew exactly when to commit the Ignite, and also they've both used both of their summoners and they still lost first blood. So that immediately establishes the dominance on bot lane. And suddenly, not only Tristana, but also Thresh are a huge threat. And they've got all the control they need in this lane.
Yeah, it is going to be the Thresh and the Tristana going to push the Zyrakan all the way back under their turret and just really allow themselves all this map control. And they can now head up and claim this scuttle with their Graves and make sure that this bot side river and all this dragon control will be theirs.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's and that's really good because I am a firm believer. I play a lot of jungle myself, and while I'm not particularly good, I watch a lot of junglers who are good, and they say that taking the first dragon, is incredibly important in the game because it secures an advantage for your entire team. And that means that you can then do more. It starts the snowball. But speaking of snowballs,
is going to be the Graves heading in very, very aggressive now. He's going to get that speed boost from the Lux, but the Lux is going to root him up under the turret. Nothing found just yet, but very solid engage. That Lux able to get a nice root off and not burn any of those summoner spells early.
No, it was very good stuff there, and that's the kind of reaction that I was talking about. Like just when we were talking about phase rush versus fleet footwork and stuff, is just when you're Lux, you don't have a dash like the rest of the champions in League of Legends because you were made what feels like 50 years ago at this point. So you just have to use your route and make it so that they can't come any closer to you and run away. And it was a fantastic route to get him just on the edge of the tower as well. That was really good. Oh my god, what a Thresh hook!
Beautiful hook coming in from that Thresh, and a nice flay back as the Tristana is going to jump in. That max proc bomb is going to burn through that Xayah. Not quite enough to take her out, but it's going to be another very, very strong showing, and he's going to burn the flash from the Xayah. This bot lane combination, this Thresh and Tristana, so aggressive and so effective.
Yeah, it's aggressive, it's effective, it's efficient, because in that small little scuffle that just caught that, that was like what, 3 seconds, 5 seconds? They melted that Xayah's HP. She lost about 65% of her health there, and they basically did nothing for it except use hook cooldown. Like, you were always happy to make that trade.
Yeah, that's definitely a trade going this side of the bot side, but it is going to be this Malphite pushing very, very aggressive on this Mordekaiser, going to force out his flash, and that's really where you want to be as that Malphite. If you can burn out that Mordekaiser's flash, really gives you the advantage in the lane and really gives you the opportunity to start pushing this one in now, as the Mordekaiser is going to have to recall far too low to sustain in this lane.
Yeah, he's got the teleport, so it shouldn't be too strong, but then you force 2 summoner spells just off a trade, and you've got yours completely fine. You don't want to teleport back here as Mordekaiser, but it is the reason you take the summoner spell. And I do think that flash was the right thing to do. It sucks that you have to burn a summoner spell. Yes, no one happens. Oh, okay, no, he's not teleporting, he's walking back. That's understandable, I guess. I can see the appeal in doing so.
Yeah, first few backs coming in, and it's really going to answer this question for the Graves. We're going to elect for the Noon Quiver, so we're going to see either the Shield Bow or the Gale Force. Not going to see this lethality mythic coming in for the Graves. So really looking more towards that team fight side instead.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because, like you say, these team fight oriented comps and stuff, you see a lot of aggression. You see a lot of League of Legends being played. Like you don't see. There are 2 different kinds of League of Legends that you can play. Right, you can play the passive, farming, defensive, just getting as much advantage as you can kind of League of Legends, or you can play the I want to make people die League of Legends, which just pushes advantages so hard and takes every scrap that they can get. I think
we are going to see.
Watch.
We're going to see a lot of people popping up towards level 6 now, so Ultimate's coming on board. Just both bot lanes and the Sejuani left to come up here. this is where the game could start to get very aggressive. This is Lux is going to pop a root, but then Graves is going to throw in his blind. No one found just yet. Orianna looking to play very aggressive. Does pop her ultimate, but not going to find anyone there. Lux more
Yeah,
than happy to take that trade, flash for the Orianna ult, and keeps herself safe for now.
yeah, it was a very ambitious Orianna ult. If she'd have managed to catch Lux there, Graves could have converted by literally just pressing one button, and that would have been a kill. But unfortunately, Lux was very good on that positioning. You know, we were saying, you know, that this Lux is actually pretty good. And
And
oh,
it's going to
hang
be a
on.
regank coming in. The Lux is going to pop her barrier, but the Graves is going to get that one with the ultimate popped. And the regank comes in. That's both summoners gone from the Lux, and she is going to fall. Graves getting the first kill for themselves there as well.
And that is the danger of Graves in the jungle, right? The moment, the moment you are on low, the moment the Graves senses blood, you need to hug your tower like it is your best friend, right? Because otherwise, you push forward a little bit, and suddenly Graves is back, and you're on lower health, and he only needs to get you down to 200 or 300 health because that projectile, that ult, is so big. And speaking of big ults,
Speaking of big,
Malphite just running straight in, choo choo.
yeah, that Malphite just going to come in. All they've got is boots. That's just pure damage. The Thresh is going to land a hook now. And that's going to be a beautiful play coming in. That is going to be the Thresh ult coming in as well. That cage is going to come up, but the Xayah is going to throw out her feathers, recall them back. It's going to be Tristana falling and jumping in. It is going to be the Xayah taken out first, and it's going to be the Rakan as well. That's a double kill coming in for the Tristana. Beautiful kills down in the bot lane, and that's going to get this Tristana even further ahead, as they are probably going to look towards this Drake now.
Yeah, what? That was 3 kills. Oh my god, the fight's not even over. There's a hook coming in here. What else is
Still
happening?
not over. There's another hook coming over, and they are going to head to the Death Realm, as it is going to be this Malphite with the Thresh. Thresh throws down the Lantern. It's not going to quite be enough, but that's a nice little shutdown coming in from Mordekaiser. You're probably more than willing to take that trade. 150 gold when you're probably dead anyway, but this Drake is now going to head the way of Derby.
Yeah, and it's the Mountain Drake as well. And these tank stats are gonna feel so bad to lose on the team of Athene's Unholy Grails. Now, the thing is the tank stats aren't really too useful for Pajama Guardians, but if you look at the team on Athene's, they really like Mountain Drakes, right? And now that's a Mountain Drake that they're just never gonna get. But wow, talking about that engage on bottom lane, there was just so much going on there. I'm amazed you were able to keep up with it all. Honestly, felt like my eyes couldn't, and your mouth managed to. Yeah, that was 3 very clean kills that suddenly
Great.
turned into. Oh,
Gray's
hang
looking
on.
to play very, very aggressive on this Sejuani, now going in for the Raptors, and it is going to be chasing down a beautiful play from the Thresh to slow that Sejuani down. Is going to get stunned up, but is going to get a kill for that Graves. That's going to be the second one for them, and this Sejuani really now being bullied out of their own jungle.
Yeah, in the middle of your Wraith camp too. Oh no, not Lux again! The good positioning is there. They're not going to be able to do anything at the moment, but you know they were looking for it.
Yeah, they are looking for it, and they are going to drop the Herald down there. That's really
That's a
nice
good
play
laser.
from the Lux.
That's
Ultimate
what I
coming
think.
in and removing that whole wave. It's going to mean that Graves takes an early turret shot, but those plates are going to be more than gladly received.
I think it even runs deeper than that. I think they've stopped them from straight up taking the mid tower there. I think with those creeps and able to tank the turret for the Rift Herald, they would have very easily been able to take a mid tower full stop there, especially considering there were 3 champions in mid. That was a very smart laser from the Lux. That's really good defensive play there. It means they only get 3 plates instead of a full tower.
Yeah, and that first tower being opened up, especially in the mid lane, is going to allow for these players to play very, very aggressive. Malphite now taking a very nice trade onto that Mordekaiser again. Trying to force them out, does have the ultimate available, would really like to see this dive coming in. That's going to be the Tristana having to jump away as she does get frozen up by the Sejuani. Ultimate knocking them away. Really nice peel for herself there, the Tristana.
Yeah,
And really well played in this bot lane, keeping that 200 gold bounty alive.
yeah, and that's an important thing where, oh, hang on.
In comes the Mordekaiser, and once again, throws the ultimate, one taps the Mord, down you go.
Yeah.
That's another kill up in the top lane.
Yeah, it's like basically how you have to play that is you have to think of yourself. You have to think, right, how much damage does Malphite Ultimate do? How much damage does the Malphite Ultimate combo do? And you need to think of yourself as having that much less maximum health. You know, because you are already dead as soon as it happens.
Really nice engage there from the Rakan. The Battle Dance in knocks up the Thresh, and really well cleaned up by the Xayah. Is going to be the Rakan picking up that kill, unfortunately. But Rakan having a nice little dance afterwards to celebrate.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself. You know, it's one of those things where if you can't have fun, why are you playing, right? It's a game. Games are meant to have fun. Sometimes you just got to press Control 3 a bunch of times. It's fun. It's really good stuff. But yeah, no. So one thing that I'm noticing across all the different engages that are being taken here by by Darby's Pajama Guardians is they are all aggressive. They are all in Athene's side of the map. Even looking
This
right now, you know,
Lux.
Trez is coming from is coming from the blue side of the map to try and kill this Lux. Malphite's actually behind her.
This Malphite is so tanky as well. More than happy to take those turret shots just to get a nice little trade over onto the Lux. And this Thresh now looking to clear out a bit of vision, perhaps looking to head down towards this bot side once again, and Graves is making their way down. Does have the Gale Force, so has that double dash with the E and the Gale Force. And Sejuani, there is no chance that they are going to make it there in time. Another nice trade going on in the top lane. Malphite trading very, very well with the with the Mordekaiser, but down in the bot lane, Grace is coming in from behind the turret. It's just going to be Malphite running away in the Death Realm, and is going to more than happily take that Q. That seismic stone is going to mean that he can just charge out flash for flash. Really nicely timed there by the Malphite to escape that one.
Goodness, Malphite was playing Grand Theft Health Bar there. I was sure he was dead when he got into that Death Realm, but he just juked and jived all around the place, and Mordekaiser just wasn't able to pick up the kill. And the flashes practically synchronized the moment that Mordekaiser flashed forward. Malphite was like, I'm going to do the same thing. It's a great idea.
And that's a really nice hook from the Thresh. So much damage coming in from this Graves as the Flay does come back. It is going to be Catgirl Triss picking up the Xayah, and Elizabeta is going to pick up the Rakan. Another nice combination from this bot lane and the jungle combination. Graves is just absolutely decimating through the blue team's red jungle, as it's going to be Malphite taking the 1v1 with the Sejuani, chasing that one down. The ultimate does come in. Is it going to be enough? In comes the stone toss and taking that one out. It's now going to continue onto the Mordekaiser. So much damage coming through. This Malphite is going to keep trying to go, and it is slowly ticking down this health bar. Lux is going to get a kill over onto Graves and claim that bounty, but is Malphite picking up 2 in the top lane.
Tank Engine at this point, he's unstoppable. He's literally an unstoppable force. It says it in the ultimate, right? Like, this is how Riot designed the champion. He's 4-0-4, Malphite not found. He is absolutely going ridiculous, and Lioness is just showing their dominance. She is showing how strong she is in this top lane role, and if I may, she's styling on Mordekaiser.
Really, really is. And Lux, something that we didn't really mention, did get a pick over onto Graves in the middle of that fight. That's a 550 gold shutdown. On top of the 300 gold for the kill, more than happy to take that 850 gold back to the bank and pick up that Luden's Tempest and also a Dark Seal, so clearly feeling themselves.
Yeah, the Dark Seal is an interesting one. Maybe they think that it's on them to kind of carry at this point. They want to try and boost their own power level as much as they can so that they can provide spaces for their team, which I think is actually quite a smart move. Like, it's not particularly fantastic, but I can see what they're going for, and I do respect it. We'll see how it works out and how it actually comes to close, but oh, I'll tell you what's not coming to close. This Sejuani, she can't even go into her own jungle.
Poor Sejuani, only level 7. The Graves is level 11, so really showing just how much Graves is squeezing out this Sejuani, claiming all of their bot side jungle and working their way through the top as well, as Graves is going to take an aggressive engage here onto the Mordekaiser. The phase rush is procced, and that's going to be burnt through. 4-1-1 this Graves so far.
So quick as well, and you know, that's exactly what I was trying to, a perfect visual diagram of what I was trying to explain in the champ select, or in the loading screen I should say, of how effective this phase rush can actually be when
Malphite locked up Unstoppable Force does come through, and it's going to be a stun over onto the Graves. Not quite enough though. In the 2v1, the Sejuani will fall once again. Malphite 5-0-4 right now. Really efficient engage there from the Rakan. Nice little battle dance into the knockup. Isn't quite going to be enough though. It's going to escape with the Lux, and really, you got to look at Darby here. 3-0-3 on the Tristana, 5-0-4 on the Malphite, 1-0-1 even in the mid lane with a huge amount of farm, and so far ahead in the items as well.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see that as well. And they've got completed boots, they've got the Luden's Luden's
Tempest.
Tempest. Yeah, Tempest. That's it. They've got the Luden's Tempest. They're also getting some really nice stacks on their tier as well, and you kind of gotta wonder how Athenes are actually going to look at coming back from this, because you've got to identify the threats, right? You've got to identify the threats and the champions that are doing well on the enemy team. But they're all threats. All of them are doing well. Not a single champion here is not doing really, really well. And that's the worst place to be in, because you can't really pick out a weak link. Even Thresh is doing fantastically for themselves at 2, 2, and 6.
And that's a really nice hook.
hook.
Speaking of the Thresh, and the Flay comes in, that's going to be the Orianna as well, popping that one. The Graves is going to pick up Mordekaiser on the way out, and it just extending this gold lead up to... up to 9,000 gold at this point, and there's Herald being dropped mid. They're going to look to try and push this one in as far as they can.
Oh yeah, and that was such a nice TP from Malphite right there as well, because he was, Malphite, Lioness, she was just clearing creeps, she was just clearing out jungle camps, and then immediately TPs down, helps with the Rift Herald, picks up 2 kills, and they should be able to challenge Inhib turret with this. The Rift Herald gets the double charge in, it's on like 300 HP right now. They can push into mid at any opportunity they're given.
Yeah, they also have to look at these objectives. So you've got just over a minute left until Baron is going to spawn for the first time, about 1 minute 10, and then you've got a minute and a half on this Ocean Drake. We'll be looking towards the Ocean Soul if the game is even going to go that long. The way that it's going, Derby playing so aggressive, and I'm fully expecting that the Soul won't even come out the way that this is going.
Oh yeah, for real. Derby are playing like they've got somewhere to be. It's a really tough one here, because the thing is if you take the game long, because that's the immediate strategy that comes to everyone's mind when they're losing, right? Is, oh, okay, we'll let them do things because we can't challenge them, and we'll try and win it in the long game, right? They have a Tristana! You are not going to win that long game. She is ridiculous. She has so much hypercarry potential. So you really just kind of leave yourself wondering what you can do as they take the tier 2 bottom turret for free, pretty much. No, literally for free. Yeah, don't lose anything for it.
Yeah, there's really, when this Tristana is so fed the way that they are, they have the Kraken Slayer, and really you're looking at maybe your Mordekaiser and your Sejuani to kind of be your engage, be your tank, but when Tristana's firing at 3,000 shots per second with a Kraken Slayer as well, it's really not going to be that easy. That true damage being able to burn through these tanks.
Well, and something I just want to like kind of bring up about the Tristana and that Kraken Slayer, like you're talking about. Kraken Slayer basically gives you a Vayne passive. She has Hail of Blades. She's getting that passive off on you at least one time, right? Because Hail of Blades just means that you hit so fast, and she can follow it up immediately with her Q, which keeps that attack speed going. And it's basically like being gunned down by some kind of machine gun at this point. It's less a cannon and more some kind of rapid fire artillery. Tristana is going to be a serious force either against these turrets or in the later game against these champions.
It is going to be that third Drake, that first Ocean coming up. It's going to go the way of Derby. They are on Soul Point and looking to head through this topside jungle. Now you can see the engage towards this Mordekaiser. Not going to look for the unstoppable force just yet. They probably want to push out the waves before they get there. But the way they're playing split at the minute, you see the Graves and the Thresh in the mid lane, then everyone else heading into the top lane, trying to open up this last tier 2 turret and put some pressure in the other lanes. But the way that the pings are going, it looks like they're going to head for Baron.
Yeah, and I think that's actually quite smart, because if you look at this and you think of the mentality of both the teams, right? I think that Derby recognize that this is not Athene's game to win, it is their game to lose, and taking a team fight under that tier 2 tower maybe seems like a really good idea, and they can just, further establish their aggressive dominance and everything and then take the tower. But I think that there is a possibility that something miraculous happens in that instance, right? And then all of a sudden, you've thrown the game, and Athenes are back in it. Backing up, taking Baron, using the space that you've created on the map, fantastic play, very level-headed. It's exactly what you want to see in a winning team.
Yeah, and this gold lead is getting stretched further and further by the minute. We're looking at around 13,000 gold. And really, now that's something that you have to worry about because not only are they ahead in the amount of pressure that they have, obviously, they have these Drakes, they now have the Baron buff as well, and also all these turrets that they've taken down. But
Mm.
also, you then have to think about the amount of items. You look at
Yeah.
this Graze, he has Bloodthirster and Gale Force just to the Sunfire Aegis of the
Mm.
side of the Sejuani. Mid lane as well, so many more items, and this Tristana getting even more fed as well. You're
Mm.
really starting to worry now if you're on the side of Athene's Unholy Grills, and as we say this, there's now pushing down towards this inhibitor turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think the time for worry, like you started worrying when you lost those two towers really close to each other. Now you're in the, you're in you're in the stages of grief at this point. It's really, really tough for them to mount anything other than a defensive here. Lux is really good at controlling space and denying creep waves, so they have that going for them. But the rest of their team is very front heavy. They want to go in, they want to make an engage, like that Sejuani ult, which was basically just used for spacing at this point.
They threw it out, but it wasn't going to find anything. The Lux is going to pop her barrier as the Grace does take the aggressive engage with the smoke screen. She's not able to see anyone, but she is going to have to ward that one out. Mordekaiser may now be caught out, but they are just focusing on the turrets right now. Malphite is going to take the aggressive engage, and Mordekaiser is going to have to flash out of that one. It's going to be a hook as the Saswani looks to engage. Now, very close to the Thresh is going to pop that ultimate as well, and it's just going to be so many kills coming in. Graves, Orianna, and Tristana cleaning up 3, and now the Thresh looking to claim people on the spawn platform. He's going to get taken into the death realm by the Mordekaiser, but it may be too little too late as we see Eldora comes out of the death realm and is going to have that Mordekaiser burnt down by the Tristana. Down goes the turret, and the Nexus is going to be short to follow. And it is going to be Derby's Pajama Guardians taking game 1 in commanding fashion.
They just disappeared. They just disappeared. Malphite jumped in on that last fight, and then suddenly two heroes just disappeared. It was like some kind of vanishing act. It was ridiculous how much damage they put out there, and I just want to say, what a fantastic display of skill, of gaming athleticism from from Darby's Pajama Guardians in that instance. Only 3 deaths on the entire team. They had 3 champions that had flawless games. That went perfect, 0 deaths. That's
Yeah,
not a
and
good sign if you're Athene's Unholy Grills.
but it's incredible to see from Derby. Really, really well played from them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we are just going to head to a break now while we wait for the next match to be finalized. So we'll be back with you guys very, very shortly for game 2.
Yeah, don't you go anywhere.